Good afternoon. Welcome to the ShowingTime Overview class. My name is Lynn, and we're going to talk about ShowingTime and setting up general preferences today in RMLS Web. And then when you have a new listing, how to go in and enter custom settings for that listing, time restrictions, add owner or co-list notifications for your listing, and then how to schedule a showing time, a single showing, or to use Showingcart to create a tour. And so we're going to go through all of those things today, and then also how to get help and support toward the end. And in order to teach showing time and not impact live listings, I am teaching on a training site. So you'll see training at the top left. That is why. Okay, so initially we want to go into ShowingTime and set up our general preferences, kind of our umbrella of information and how we want to communicate back and forth with other brokers through ShowingTime. So the easiest way to get there is to click on the toolkit and then go down and click on the ShowingTime icon in the lower right. Okay, and I have already clicked on that icon, and it's going to take you to the ShowingTime page. And it does have an RMLS logo at the top, and it will say home at the top left. So this home page is where we start. Okay, and a quick look at this first page, I can see showings I have requested, kind of things that have not been confirmed, showings that have been confirmed, showings requested on my listings, so things that I might need to take a look at, messages, so text messages through ShowingTime with other brokers. I might want to take a look at those, and also feedback requests. If I have shown property, I might have feedback requests waiting for my attention. So just take a quick glance at that. And then we're going to click on Edit Profile. Okay, so when you initially open up Edit Profile, you will see Profile Basics at the top. You can upload your photo. It does have the option to calendar sync with a lot of electronic calendars. There is a tutorial, there's information how to do that. I'll kind of show you when we get down to help and support where to find that, and to mass add a listing note to all of your listings. Okay, but the really important part is here under Profile Basics, you want to take a look and make sure your contact information is correct. You also want to make sure that one of your phone numbers is marked as a mobile phone number. If you want to have the option later to set up text messages, okay? And then you also want to check and make sure where it says text message, make sure that that phone number is showing there so that that will be available to you if you would like that option. Okay, scrolling down. Just going to kind of go down the page. Login information. So I'll show you how you can send a link to your smartphone to set up the app on your phone. But if for some reason, sometimes it does an update and then it's asking for you for a login on your phone on the app, you can come in here and reset your username and password if necessary. You can also link if you have additional profiles. Some of you are in more than one MLS. If those different MLSs are also using ShowingTime, you can link your profiles together. This will become your primary account, but you'll be able to see all of your other profiles here as well. And now for the listing agent side of things. So listing agent showing preferences. So we do get the call sometimes, what if I do not want to use ShowingTime for any of my listings? All of my listings are 3 million plus. I don't want to use this product for my listings. So you can change this to no. Allow agents to request appointments online. Here, if I select no, this would be for all of my listings. Okay, if you select no, you just need to click Save Changes, and then when other brokers click on ShowingTime on the icon for your listings, they will get a message that that service is not available for that listing. Okay, I'm going to leave mine on yes. Allow agents to request virtual appointments. The default is in-person and virtual. I think most people are, when they're requesting an appointment, it's in person. You do have the option to say in-person appointments only if you would rather. The default appointment mode, there are 3 choices here. Appointment required, which means either you have to approve it, or I'll show you how you can put in an owner or a co-listing broker into ShowingTime. One of them may need to approve it, but somebody has to approve the appointment for that person to be able to show the property. And this, again, this is the umbrella setting for all of your listings. I'll show you how you can change it for an individual listing later if you would like to do so. Go and show would mean that when another broker requests a showing for that property or for your listings, if this is what you choose for all of your listings, they will get to schedule it on a calendar, date and time, and they will get immediate approval. They do not have to wait for your approval or the homeowner or a co-list, however you have it set up. Typically that is used most often on vacant properties with a lockbox. And then view instructions only, they will not be given a calendar. They will just get an immediate confirmation, and they'll get any instructions that you've typed into ShowingTime. So typically that is most often used for lots and land. Okay, so I'm going to just leave it on appointment required as my default, and then I'll show you how I can change that for an individual listing later. Allow scheduling overlaps. Do you want appointments to overlap? And during our current situation, we do not want overlapping appointments. So maximum number of scheduling overlaps, again, I'm going to say none right now for quite a while probably. Buffer time between appointments. So if when people are booking appointments on the calendar, if you want to put a buffer of time in between appointments, you can have that here, so 15 minutes. So just in case somebody's running like 5 minutes behind and the other person comes 5 minutes early, there's that 15-minute buffer time between their appointments. You can use it for a little cushion in between. Share showing agent details with your clients. The default is no, do not share. Notifications for appointments on my listings. So when other brokers click on ShowingTime to request a showing of my listing, do I want to get an email? Do I want to get a text message? Do I want to get both? They are checkboxes, so you can decide, or you can actually uncheck them. So if you just want to use the app on your phone, you don't want to be notified, you can also turn those things off. Request feedback from showing agents. So basically it's a little reminder after you've shown a property to share feedback. So I have that on yes as a reminder. And as we scroll down, the next section is buyer's agent showing preferences. So now when you're working with your buyers and you're going and showing property, these are your preferences for that side of the transaction, okay? So double check your, again, contact details, make sure everything looks correct here, and then notifications for appointments I request. So when appointment requests are received by the listing broker, if I want to get an email to tell me that, I can. I get a lot of emails from ShowingTime because I used to have a lot of these checked. When appointment requests are actually viewed, when they actually get looked at, do I want to know about that? I decided I probably didn't really need to know that anymore, so I unchecked that. When appointments are confirmed or canceled, I probably do want to know that, so I can choose email, text message, call is probably not really used much anymore. We just use email or text or both. When there is a price change or listing notification on a property I've shown, that's your choice to get an email on that or not. We're not using the offer registration notifications, and I'm going to show you how to do your own showing cart, so I think that's probably not typically used in our area. Receive feedback requests from other agents. Again, this is just confirming on the buyer side. Multi-unit, I'm not worried about that one. Appointment scheduling, default appointment type for new appointments. The default is showing, but you can change it. Again, this is your kind of your master appointment scheduling. What do you want it to normally be? You can always change it later. and your default appointment length for new appointments. So when you click on showing time for another broker's listing and you're requesting a showing, what do you want your minimum appointment length to be by default? Okay, so you can pick off of there. And then you need to indicate if you can access Central Lock, Supra, or if you have a HUD key. Okay, again, we're not using the buyer's agent offer preferences, so I would not worry about that. Additional preferences, new message notification, I just have it on email. I don't know that I get a lot of messages from ShowingTime. We don't use the broadcast notification, but agent communication for your text messages and push. And push is one of those messages on your smartphone that you get like a news alert or a weather alert, and it just kind of pops up. It's not a text, it's just more of a news story, and then once you swipe it away, it disappears. So you, again, if you have it set up to text or push, do you want it 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. only, or do you want it all hours? And some people might approve appointments, at 2 in the morning, you never know, so it's your choice, okay? Mobile app access. So this is where you can put in your email and send the authentication link and then open that email on your smartphone, and it'll walk you through setting up ShowingTime, the app on your phone. And once you have ShowingTime on your phone, it's really easy. We're going to talk through all the things today, but it's easy to see the showings you've requested, showings that have been requested on your listings, and manage that information just from your smartphone as well. Okay, so that's kind of the overview, setting up your general preferences for ShowingTime. Okay, I'm going to come down and we're going to click on a few of these tabs and talk through what these do for us. So the next tab down is Messages. And again, through ShowingTime, primarily when people are using the app, they are able, and let me see if I can find one here. So they're able to text message back and forth with you either about your listings, or you can text and message back and forth questions, comments with other brokers when you are interacting with their listings. And once you're in here, you can actually at the bottom here type a message. Sorry. Great house. Or some special instructions. The cat got out of the garage this morning. If you see the cat, please let it back in. Its name is Fluffy. You can type messages back and forth about specific listings that you're interacting with. Okay. The Showings tab. Okay, so the Showings tab, it does have a calendar, and I can see a month, a week, or a day. Okay, kind of everything that is on my ShowingTime calendar. Okay, or you'll see when I clicked on showings, I get this little list of other options. So I can also see on my listings, so showings that have been requested on my listings, and so I can see when those are. And you can also click on View Modify. Okay, and here's where you can actually send a message again to the person who made this request from here as well. You can at the bottom resend confirmation if maybe something happened and they say, could you resend it to me? For whatever reason. You could also cancel an appointment. And if you cancel an appointment, it will ask you for a general description why, but it also lets you put notes. So if somebody became really sick in the house, they don't want anybody to come in, you can let them know. Okay, so again, on my listings, you can make a new request in here, but I'm going to show you the easiest way to do that later from just our MLS web. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead on to showings I have requested. Okay, so these are listings that I have asked to see. and I can see status here. It jives with the calendar. So on that calendar, if they were confirmed, they were green. If they were declined, they were red. I'll go back up and click on the calendar in a second. And here requested on my calendar will be yellow because they haven't been confirmed yet. So again, these are ones I have requested. If there are attachments, PDF attachments or extra photo attachments that have been added in ShowingTime, I can view those. I can also view modify. Okay, and again, I can send a message here as well. And here I can reschedule or cancel. So if something comes up and I want to reschedule, I can do that from here. Okay, now let's just go back up to the calendar for just a moment. Okay, and as I said, green have been approved, yellow the showing has been requested but not approved yet, and red means it has been declined. Okay, so we're going to go to listing setup. Okay, so I have 3 active listings. Okay, and from here I can click on one of these, but I'm going to show you another way to get to that same place. So going back to RMLS Web, going to listing load. And currently, you can't set up showing time while a listing is still in progress. We're talking about maybe changing that in the future. So for now, this showing time icon for your listings won't show up until it's active. Okay, so if you click on the showing time icon, so from the listing load page, it will take you into showing time. And it will take you to the exact same place if I had gone to that listing setup and I clicked on the MLS number. Okay, so now I see the property address up at the top. Okay, and it's wanting me to update my showing instructions and everything, which is what we're doing, and then I will save it when we're done. Okay, so at the top, showing time for the MLS. Allow showing agents to request appointments online. So now we're talking about this specific property, this specific listing. So again, in your general preferences, when we were on home edit, we had it on yes. Maybe for this listing, we do not want it to work. So if I say no for this listing and I save it, then showing time will be disabled. So when other brokers click on my active listing on the showing time icon to request a showing, they'll get that message that this service is not available for this listing. And then we generally advise they need to go back and they need to read the remarks and showing instructions that you've entered for the listing. Okay. Again, scrolling down. So for this specific listing, let me go ahead and just save changes so that'll go away for a moment. Okay, so for this specific listing, again, do I want appointment required? Do I want to have to approve? Or do I want, it's maybe vacant. Do I want to use courtesy call or go and show for this specific property? Or view instructions only? They don't need an appointment. They'll just get instructions. You choose for this property which one you would like to use. Okay, I'm going to leave it on appointment required so I can show you how to add an owner occupant or a co-list agent in a moment. Is this a listing agent accompanied showing? The default is no. All right, and then I have it set up for notifications for me to come via email. Okay, again, for this specific listing, maybe I decide I would rather have text messages for this particular one. Your choice. Okay, and I'm just going to save what I just did just so that that bar goes away at the top. Okay, and then, so sometimes people say, I want the owner to be able to approve the appointments. Okay, or I want to enter a co-listing agent to approve the appointments. I really don't want to be involved. So in that case, whoever approves the appointment first approves the appointment, right? So I'm going to add an owner occupant. Okay, and so I'm going to add a new person. Okay, owner, occupant. If I want to put a phone or a mobile, if I put a mobile phone number, it will allow texting as an option, or maybe today I'm just going to do email. Okay, and so because I did not put in a cell phone, I didn't put in a mobile number, you'll notice text and push, those are grayed out. Okay, so if you click on how will this work, it will tell you based on just selections you've made, kind of the process that this particular listing will go through to get approved. Okay, so when an appointment is made, Betty Boop will be sent an email requesting confirmation. I will be sent a text requesting confirmation. Notifications will be copied. And then after the appointment is confirmed, or if the appointment is canceled, Betty Boop will get an email. I will get a text message. So it will review the process for me. And again, if Betty Boop approves it, I do not need to approve it. Okay. And once I have another person in there, it will let me deselect. I can take myself out of the process entirely if I just want them to take care of it, and then I'm just going to look at the app or in the website to see what's going on. It is totally up to you how you want to do that. Co-listing agent is exactly the same process, so I won't repeat that. Okay, scrolling down, appointment restrictions. So for this particular listing, let me go ahead and save changes here. So you can set it up to have no same-day appointments if you would like, or you can set it up with lead time. And so required would mean on the calendar when another broker goes to book a showing on your listing, if you had a 2-hour required lead time, it would not let them book an appointment until 2 hours out from now. Suggested is just a recommendation, but it would allow them, so I have my suggested at 1 hour, but it would allow them to book it just a half an hour out if they wanted to do so, because I don't have that as required. Minimum appointment length, if you would like, it's up to you. Maximum appointment length. Allow scheduling overlaps. Again, for this specific listing, I'm going to leave it on the default, which is no, because we're still following COVID protocol. Again, buffer time for this specific property, if you want to put in a buffer time, you can. Maybe this is a bigger house. People aren't realizing how long it's taking them to get through, and you're like, yeah, I need to put in a buffer. So feel free to do that. Another question that comes up, what if the homeowner, they don't want to have showings before 10 a.m.? They've got little kids. It's just really stressful. The rest of the day is fine. People ask, how do I set up a showing restriction? And so if you click on Add New Showing Restriction, you will get a pop-up box that says Add New Showing Restriction. You do need to put a reason. So again, it could be homeowner request, contractor working, painter working, it can be whatever, but something needs to be filled out. And then timed restriction, so the start time, so we just want to make sure there's nothing before 10 a.m. So I'm going to block out that whole morning. Or you can do an all-day restriction for a particular day. If it's a one time restriction, put in the date. If it's a repeating restriction, so start date, let's say we have the listing, it just went active today, and maybe for the end date, I'll put the whatever the expiration date is of the contract initially, and then is it only certain days of the week? Is it every day of the week? So this homeowner, they don't want any showings before 10 any day, and then save the restriction. Okay, and then you'll be able to see any restrictions that you have set up below. And I've also had people who they said, oh yeah, they also don't want showings after 7:30 at night. You can go in, do the same process, just do it for the evening hours. Can't really do it at the same time, both of those. Okay, and then access information. So again, for this specific property, is there a gate code? Is there an alarm? How can you get access to the home? If you indicate, if you have central lock, you don't have to put the serial number of the box, but location never hurts to help side door, back door, that kind of thing. Any special notes that you would like to include. There is integration in the app with Central Lock, so if they go to show this property, there is a link that takes them over to CentriKey Real Estate, to the Central Lock app to open up the lockbox. You can also type your own little showing instructions here in addition to what you already have entered in RMLS Web. You can also add from predefined notes, which is just a list, visit model home, please remove shoes or wear booties, please lock doors, all of those good things. But again, you can type whatever you'd like. And if you would like to add driving directions, you can do that as well. Okay, and then over here on the left, you have a couple of little buttons. Archive just means you can move this listing off of your active listings in ShowingTime. Not quite sure why we would do that, but it's available. You can merge listings together. Again, not sure why, but it's there for some reason. Listing activity report. Go ahead and leave, that's okay. Okay, so listing activity report, what's been going on with the listing. Okay, there's a past showing, there's a future showing. I can see total number of appointments in the last 30 days, last 7 days, that sort of thing. Any feedback responses back to listing. Okay, listing changes log, so any changes made within showing time. Okay, and then attachments. If you click on attachments, you can add or remove, and again, they can be PDF, JPEG, and these other types. Choose a file. If you add, and I'm just gonna quickly grab one here and bring it in. So if you add an attachment, when another broker requests a showing for this listing, they're going to get a special email with those attachments, with those documents. So anything that you think would be beneficial, helpful with this particular property, you can use that tool. Okay, and then again, if you make changes, anytime you'll have that little save button up at the top for any changes, again, to the listing instructions for this particular property. Okay, and again, listing setup, if I click on that here, like I said, it'll take me and it'll show me all of my current active listings. And again, if I click here, it will open up to the exact same screen that we arrived at from listing load, clicking on the showing time icon. Okay, I'm going to click on contacts. Okay, so within showing time, you can add a new buyer, or you can add a new seller. Okay, if you have them in showing time as a contact, and again, the information is minimal, and if you want to put, notes about the type of property they like or whatever, you can use that. But this is where you'll be able to see individual listings, properties that you have shown them. And you can also see tours. So when we create a tour, we create their little shopping cart. We can see tours that we have done and what properties did we look at, and I can see the date and time, and some of them haven't happened yet. Bethany Buyer, she is a new client. Okay, and you can also edit. There's a little pencil to edit the information. Okay, feedback. So with our training accounts, we don't have the feedback options that you have. You actually have the option to create feedback templates. So if you click on feedback, you're going to have on your account some other options available to create your own custom questions, feedback for your listings. And I'll show you in help where you can read more about that. Reports. Again, they have a benchmark report that you buy, and I don't know what it costs. I don't really know what it shows, but I don't really think you need to do that. Agent activity report. So I can see, again, sort of a snapshot of what has been going on. Listing activity report. Again, I have 3 listings right now, and then showings I have requested. Okay, again, I can view or modify from here as well. So they have some things you can do in more than one place. Okay, and then scrolling down to help and support. So their help and support is very well done. There we go. So you can actually type in a topic, but if you just scroll down, you'll see kind of probably the most important one. So here's feedback. Here's if you want to learn more about the mobile, about their app. If you want to learn more about syncing with your calendar, again, they have screenshots to help you out. If you scroll down a little further, they have video training both on the mobile site, the app, and on the desktop. If you keep scrolling down, ShowingTime support, so they do have an email where you can click and it'll open up an email you can type, or their toll-free number and their hours if you have questions. Okay, and you will notice upgrade service over here, which they have sort of a concierge level of service, which includes telephone support for booking appointments, rescheduling appointments. Again, I don't think that's something you need to do, but that's what that is. Okay, so now we're going to talk about, excuse me, what if I want to schedule a single showing for a listing. So let me go do a search in RMLS Web. Again, I'm still in the training site, so I'm not making appointments on real listings. Okay, and then let me get that. Okay, so you do have on the search results screen, you do have the showing time icon over here on the right. Once you know that's what the icon looks like, or you hover over it, it says schedule showing time. Or if you click on the MLS number or select report and go to the agent full, you will have the showing time icon up here at the top right in the showing instruction box. Okay, so you can click on showing time, and now I want to go schedule a showing for this property. So I'm clicking on showing time. Okay, and I'm going to scroll down. And at the bottom here, I see, and if it's your first time using ShowingTime to book an appointment, there is a checkbox you will need to check to agree to the terms for the service, and schedule a single showing down here at the bottom. And that opens up a calendar, and you get to pick a date and time on the calendar. And it is going to tell you if it's appointment required or if it's a go and show. It's going to tell you what type of appointment it is so you know. This listing does not accept appointment overlaps, no minimum, maximum 2 hours. And again, appointment type, my default is showing, but I can change it here if I need to. And then my start time that I picked was 11:30 on Friday. 15 minutes isn't enough for me, so I want to go till 12:15. If I want to add the buyer's name, I can, or not provided, or maybe it's a new person that I'm working with, I can add them here at this point. But let's say it's Bethany Buyer. She's keeping me very busy. I can type notes for the buyer. Do I have access to Central Lock? Because I could potentially send some information to my buyer. And I could add a note for the listing broker and then request appointment. Okay, and it's just going to tell you request not yet confirmed. So until you get confirmation, you cannot go show this property. But it's usually pretty quick. A lot of people do have the app on their phone, and as my phone just told me, I have a message that somebody has requested an appointment to see my listing. So that'll happen probably pretty quickly. And again, that's all based on your preferences that you set up at the very beginning when we started and we went into edit, and your communication preferences for requesting appointments. Okay, so an individual appointment is that easy. To set up a tour in the showing cart, I'm going to go back to my page with 3 listings. All right, and so I'm going to click on the first one, the showing time icon. And now at the bottom, instead of schedule a single showing, I'm going to add to showing cart. And when you select add to showing cart, you have the option to add to an existing tour or to create a new showing cart. And then next. Okay, and it's going to ask me for the date. And then again, buyer name, Barbie buyer. Okay, and then I'm going to go back to RMLS Web and I'm going to click on the next one that I want to go show. And now when I add to showing cart, I'm going to pick the tour for tomorrow for Barbie buyer. Next. And then I'm going to go back and get my third one. Again, add to showing cart for Barbie buyer. Okay, so here is my cart. Okay, as it is right now with 3 properties. And again, they're in the order they're in. You might like it, you might not like it. You can left click, drag and drop and slide these, change them around if you would rather. Okay, so maybe, yeah, maybe you want to go from, maybe you want to change to that order instead. Yeah, maybe that makes more sense. So you can drag and drop, slide the order. We still haven't selected our times. Ultimately, we're going to send our requests out for approval. Okay, but you do have the option to add a stop, add other stops. So maybe I want to make an arrangement in here to stop and get coffee before we get started. Okay, add a stop. Okay, so coffee. So I'm going to start with coffee. So I'm going to drag that to the top. And since we're going to Starbucks for coffee, I'm going to say that that is confirmed. And I'm going to meet my clients there, my client at 8 and maybe to 8:30. Again, if I want to put notes, I can ultimately print this tour out if I want or email it to my client if I want to do that. So if I want to add notes for my buyer, I can. All right, so that's from 8 to 8:30. And now for my first appointment time, I'm going to pick, so it looks like some times are already taken. They're not available on the schedule. So I'm going to go ahead and pick the 9:45 one, and a half an hour was my default time that I set up. And again, notes to the listing broker or notes to my buyer if I would like. Okay, so I have that 9:45 to 10:15. And the next one, I'm going to try, if I go at 10:30, I don't have enough time. So I'm going to go from noon to 12:30. Again, notes. And then for the battleground one, so that might take me a little while to get there. And I'll go 145 to 215. Okay, so I kind of set up and I can see the time blocks on the calendar over here to the right. And then I click on Send Requests. And it will say now those appointments have been requested. So right now it's a yield sign. And then once they are approved, they'll change to a green, it'll have a white check mark in a green bubble. And if they're declined, again, it'll be red. So those, again, messages, emails, or texts, however, the broker who has these listings, however, they have their settings, preferences set up, that's what they're getting, and then they will approve back to me. Okay, and then the print icon is up at the top right. The email option is the little envelope at the top right. Okay. So again, back on my calendar, let me go to Showing Cart. This, I was in with a different login with this one, but that's okay. But here's Bethany Buyer for tomorrow, just to show you. I have one that's been confirmed for Bethany, one that was declined, and one that they still haven't responded. And it will continue periodically to reach out to them, to that broker, to get approval, again, in whatever method they asked, email or text. Okay, and then again, home gets us back to the beginning where we started, and again, the app is pretty intuitive. It kind of follows the same logic. They are about to have kind of a facelift that's going to happen with ShowingTime. I don't know the exact date. Functionality will actually become even better, and scheduling will become even more interactive. But again, the general premise will stay the same. So I hope this was very helpful. As always, you know, in our site, you do have live chat at the top right, Monday through Friday, 8 to noon and 1 to 5, if you just have a quick question. Of course, you can go to contact us to find our help desk phone numbers. That will be at the top of the contact us list if you have questions. And then as we looked when we were in ShowingTime and we went to help and support, down at the very bottom is the ShowingTime support email and toll-free number if you have very specific questions for them. I hope this was helpful. You guys have a great day. Thank you. Bye.